Hello everybody and welcome back to the Command of Cold Steel. 8/29/2015. Yes, it has been quite a while since the last episode of the Command went out, but trust me, I have an explanation for that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the questions and comments. And this thing keeps telling me I have comments awaiting approval, but I can't actually find those anywhere. The Moogle Master, hashtag the Command. Hey, I finally got to listen to a show from, Alex Shannon. As to the question, no, I never really pre-order. I don't know why I don't. Well, I was just asking that because I wanted to know, well, if you guys, maybe have some sort of reason for not pre-ordering, but, if you don't have a reason, then, Anyway, there's the Command was not in last week's video. I added that in the comments later on. And Mustachioed Green Dinosaur says, too short, needs more questions. Here, think on this for the next show. What's the worst game you own? That's a tough one. I don't own a lot of bad games. Mostly because I do a lot of research to avoid that. I got a lot of free games on Steam that I don't, I got them through giveaways or whatnot, and maybe not that great, but I haven't played many of them. I actually own the original Glacier and Glacier 3. Glacier 2 is one of the worst games I ever played. Worst game I ever played was definitely All-Star Karate on the Wii. Worst game I own, though... maybe it's Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing on the Genesis. No, I haven't played that for more than a couple of seconds, so I have no idea. I guess I just plugged that in to make sure it worked. Well, let's see here. Splinter Cell's pretty bad. It's not... Yeah, Splinter Cell is pretty bad. It is a terrible clone of Metal Gear Solid. It does not have any of the good stealth stuff that Metal Gear Solid has. It's all disjointed, I got Sonic Unleashed, but that's not bad. It's just too difficult. A little bit of weirdness on the control design. Just looking over here on my game shelf. I got and you see, I got a bunch of good games up here. I've got Jade Empire, Counter-Strike Source, Resident Evil 4, Warcraft, the original, not World of, X-Wing and Starfighter, Icewind Dale. I own a rather unusual amount of sports games, though. Well, I've wound up with them in, lots of stuff that I've bought. So I just go ahead and I guess I'll just dump Lynx LS98, let's just say that. Or maybe one of the Tiger Woods or NCAA games I've got sitting over on the coffee table waiting to be cleaned. And then the Moogle Master or replies and says, excuse me, that he guesses it would have to be Sonic Spinball or Viva Pinata. I haven't played Viva Pinata, but I've heard good things about it. Sonic Spinball isn't all that great, though, I'll give you that. I didn't really think about that, though, because I don't own that as part of anything other than a collection of games. And then Serpent21 says, I haven't pre-ordered anything lately because I haven't gotten a PS4 yet, and I don't see myself getting anything new for the 3. Yeah, I don't pre-order because I don't buy anything new. And it was like yesterday I was going to pre-order this movie on iTunes, and I installed the new version of iTunes, I got everything all set up, and it just wouldn't load the iTunes store, and I'll talk about that later. I'm just writing something down in my notebook here real quick. And then the rest of Serpent21's question is, I usually do pre-orders on games that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I do that more often if I had more money and if I had if it wasn't so risky, you know, because back in the day it used to be, pre-order so you can get your copy, otherwise you might not get your copy, but now it's like, unless it's an Atlas game or something like that, or an Xseed title, something really rare, you don't usually need to pre-order it. Take a drink of water. Unless, of course, you really want, like, the pre-order bonus. Like, I considered pre-ordering Dragon Ball Xenoverse earlier in the year because it had this really sweet steelbook case if you pre-ordered it, but I didn't wind up pre-ordering it. I just figured, steelbook case is cool, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'll save a whole lot of money by buying the game used. I still haven't bought it, by the way. If I do, I'd probably get it for like PS3 or Xbox 360, because those are the systems that I have. Because it's at the point where I have the systems that matter from almost every generation except for 1 and 2. I've got the NES, and then I've got the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, and then I've got the N64 and the PlayStation, although I do kind of want to get a Saturn because they got some really good games on there that that aren't on anything else that I really want to play. And then I've got the Dreamcast, the GameCube, the Xbox, and the PS2, and the Game Boy Advance. Oh, I've also got a Game Boy Color. Forgot about that. Game Boy Color for Generation 3. No, Game Boy Color for Generation 4/5. I don't have an original Game Boy, but I don't really need one. Then I got a Game Boy Advance for Generation 6. And then I have the Xbox 360, the PS3, the Wii, the PSP, and the DS for Generation 7. And the only Generation 8 system I've got is the 3DS. And that's the closest I'd come to saying that anything from Generation 8 is actually current gen. Because nothing else has reached market saturation the way the 3DS has. Because even the PS4 hasn't sold as many units as that. And don't get me started on the joke that is the Xbox One and the Wii U. What have they sold? Like 1 million units each? And then I think, yeah, that the Vita's only sold like 500,000 units at most. I mean, that'd be perfectly respectable if it's a game, not a system, but a system needs, like... You need to sell, like, 10 million units for it to be, all that good. That's not to say that the Vita's a bad system, and I do want to get one eventually. Because there are a whole lot of Xseed games on the Vita that I want to play. But, you know, not right now. Not at the price that it's at. Thank you, SSerpent21. Thank you, Mogul Master. Thank you, Mustachio Dinosaur. Now, let's get on to our topics. By the way, if you guys want more stuff for me to talk about, leave more comments. Oh, I forgot about this. Last week's episode of the unofficial commentary on Dino Charge had, yeah, it was Elican Noai who was commenting, asking where the command was, and I messaged him later on, telling him that the command was going to be delayed a little bit because I was waiting on something. Which is going to be a surprise, but, yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, we're back to regular command episodes. Almost sneezed there for a minute. Now let's get on to our topics here. Now you guys know about Screw Attack's Death Battle series, right? And I actually did sneeze there. Unfortunately, I don't have a mute button on this microphone. Hang on. I think I'm going to sneeze again.
Get some tissue.
Doing my best to sneeze away from the microphone. I was holding the microphone at arm's length away.
Pause the video.
And, still picked it up. I'm probably going to edit that out. Anyways, you guys know about Screw Attack's Death Battle series, right? They, get together two fictional characters and make them fight it out. They supposedly do research. And, then at the end of the video, they try and explain why the wrong person won. And they've done this quite a few times. And I was not reminded of this. I was rather acutely reminded of this. I was about to say something else, but I couldn't. The words were failing me at the moment. I was rather acutely reminded of this when I was watching through some of It's Just Some Random Guy's videos that he posted recently. And, as you guys should know, he does the voice of Superman in Death Battle. And then they got Moscow X back to do Goku for Goku vs. Superman 2. Let's just open up the Death Battle playlist here. Death Battle. Here we go. Let's back up here. Screw Attack's on Screw Attack's channel here. Now go on to the playlists. Here, Death Battle. Oh, there we go. 51. They've done 51. Oh, no. Click on that. back up. Clicked on the Who Is thing by accident. Let's go ahead and click on the Death Battle thing here. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. First Death Battle, Boba Fett versus Samus Aran. That was... I can't remember, but yeah, Samus definitely beat up Boba Fett. I didn't watch Akuma vs. Shang Tsung, I don't think. I don't really care. A lot of these things a lot of them I don't watch. It's like Goomba vs. Koopa, that was hilarious. Rogue vs. Wonderland, I like that. But the Turtles Battle Royale, that was pretty good. And Leo won, as he should have. And Yoshi vs. Riptor, that was hilarious. But, Yoshi was good in that. And Kratos vs. Spawn, of course Spawn's gonna win. My god. Vegeta vs. Shadow the Hedgehog, they got some Lanny Couture to do the voice of Vegeta. That was great. I like that. I'm a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, but I really like that battle. Vegeta, I mean, I think Vegeta would probably be able to win that, because Shadow would probably run his power down way too fast. Mario vs. Sonic. Mario won. No, Sonic won, by the way, as he should have. I mean, come on. Sonic is the fastest thing alive. Oh my. Justin Bieber versus Rebecca Black. That was hilarious. I think that was one of the best. I'm just reading down the list here. Luke Skywalker versus Harry Potter. I mean, that's a terrible matchup for one thing. And for two, it wasn't a very good fight. I mean, it's not that I didn't like the ending. First off, it's Kid Harry Potter, not Auror Harry Potter. And second, it was just not very good. Starscream versus Rainbow Dash. I like that. That was pretty good. That was funny. I mean, this whole thing is very hit and miss, you know? Well, I mean, for every like Deadpool versus Deathstroke, which was really good, they had a Ryu versus Scorpion, or a Godzilla versus Gamera, or an Epion versus his Tiger Zord, or a Batman oh my god. All of their bad fights, all of their fights where the ending was terrible, are like, okay, scroll down here a bit. Yeah, because they've got Godzilla versus Gamera, Batman versus Captain America, Tiger Zord versus Epion, and Ryu versus Scorpion. And those are all published one right after another. And it was like, what was the last one? And then right before, I didn't watch Fulgur versus Sector, but the one right before that, the Pokemon Battle Royale, that was terrible. Oh my god. I mean, and let's not even get into the intricacies of Pokemon training. Let's just talk Charizard wins. I mean, there's no way in hell. Well, I mean, Bulbasaur should not. Of course, Bulbasaur's not going to be the first one out, but Blastoise should not have won that. And then Godzilla versus Gamera. Godzilla takes a beat and keeps on. I
couldn't remember the rhyme. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking. And then you got Batman versus Captain America. Oh, my God. Batman, Bruce Wayne, is a normal human being who is trained to the peak of physical perfection. Captain America is a super soldier. Captain America can literally see faster than regular people can. He can react faster. His reflexes are better. I mean, put him in a real fight. Come on. Put him in a real fight. Captain America wins. There is no way. Because, I mean, have you guys seen The Winter Soldier? He jumps out of a plane into the ocean without a parachute on. That kind of fall would break somebody's neck when they hit the ocean. There is no way at all that a rope around his neck would break his neck. He's taken harder hits than that. And now my Power Rangers fanboy has been riled up, even after our little unofficial commentary earlier today. Because Tiger Zord vs. Gundam Epion starts out on a terrible premise. Okay, first off, how exactly did Epion get to planet Earth from where they were? From where it was? Because there is no way... Hang on, I gotta tell somebody I'm recording. Okay. No way that... Because Epion's from the future. Tiger Zord is from the present. And Tiger Zord was built by aliens, so... anyways. First off, why is Epion here? Second, why is Tommy so irresponsible? Third, they established that the Zero System could not figure out anything about the Tiger Zord. Why was it all of a sudden able to do that? And why was it able to predict something that shouldn't even... Because I've had Gundam fanboys try to tell me that, there's like hinges and crap on the Tiger Zord that let it, and clamps and crap that lets it hook up. Okay, yeah, but it also transforms from a tiger to a humanoid thing, so it could be for that. And there was no way that it could predict the Tiger Ultra Zord formation, which it did, from the basic Tiger Zord warrior mode. Because the only way that Epion could have gotten here would be through could have gotten to the world of Power Rangers would be through a breach between dimensions. And that would mean that it has absolutely no idea what the Power Rangers are. Which means that it shouldn't be able to predict anything. Which leaves Zex blind. Plus, I mean, the ending goes against Screw Attack's own logic. Because they said that, okay, they estimated how much the Ranger suit amplifies somebody's power. And then they mentioned that the Tiger Zord mimics your movements 1-to-1. Okay, so that increases your power by like 8 times, I think. Because I did the math. And then you gotta take into account the pilot, Tommy Oliver. Most powerful Ranger who ever lived. Okay? Hang on, I gotta adjust the microphone a bit. Most powerful Ranger who ever lived. He is as powerful as at least a suited Ranger without his suit. That's just with his normal martial arts training. Without his suit. Because if anybody's watched MMPR, they'd know that. Then we got Ryu versus Scorpion. Let's just say that one of Ryu's final attacks should have destroyed the entire Nether Realm. Next. Oh yeah, Deadpool versus Deathstroke. That was good. Kirby versus Majin Buu. That was good. Ophet versus Samus Aran remastered. I didn't watch that, but if it ended like the last one did, it was good. Iron Man versus Lex Luthor. Good. Donkey Kong versus Knuckles, which is their latest one. That was terrible. Darth Vader versus Doctor Doom. They got a point. But the Goku versus Superman ones, that was disgusting. Both of them were out of character, first off. Neither of them were fighting how they fight in their actual source material. Because Goku might not be the smartest person in the world, but he knows to try everything. And the solar flare would have drained Superman's powers like that. And, you know, Goku versus Superman made Goku into a bit of an idiot. More so than he is usually. Even more so than he is in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. But But Superman was downright evil. All Goku wanted to do was fight. And this is extremely prevalent in Goku vs. Superman 2, where for some reason, even though the world's been destroyed, Superman manages to wish back the Earth with the Dragon Balls, and he brings Goku back with it in his Super Saiyan God 2 form. I refuse to call it Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. And the Superman in this is so sadistic that he could have been a villain in an arc of Dragon Ball Z. He is Frieza level bad, okay? He's like Sinestro, almost. All Goku wanted to do was have a sparring match. That is literally the only in-character explanation for why this would have happened. But
I mean, there's absolutely no in-character explanation as to why Superman was acting so freaking evil in this death battle scenario. I mean, where are his multicolored Sentai minions? You know? I mean, he's like... Oh. Of course. I realized what it is. This is Superman from Injustice Gods Among Us. Of course it is. And then it's like, I can't see why the Dragon Ball Z Abridged guys would be okay with a second death battle where Goku gets completely destroyed, even though Solar Flare is... Solar Flare, you could literally just do that and drain all of Superman's powers. I mean, Yamcha can do it, and he's the weakest member of the Z-Fighters. And they forgot that Goku can move faster than the speed of light. I mean, I get that they established that, and then post-reboot, post-crisis Superman can move faster than the speed of light, but Goku can move instantaneously. It's like instant transmission. He can be wherever he wants. Which means he moves faster than the speed of light, and faster than, really, the speed of anything. But for every handful of really bad death battles, they've got one that makes up for it. And that's not to say that Goku vs. Superman and both of them weren't well made. I really liked those death battles, but they ended terribly. But yeah, you've got the really good ones is Terminator vs. RoboCop. That was awesome. That was one of the best death battles I've ever watched. And then you've got... I also like Tiger Sword vs. Epion too, but... And then you've got Courier vs. Majin Buu, and Iron Man vs. Lex Luthor. And then you got my favorite death battle so far. Solid Snake versus Sam Fisher. And they didn't get the right people to do the voices, and they didn't even necessarily get sound-alikes. But Snake versus Fisher was awesome. It was very Metal Gear. And this is their best death battle of all time, I think. It's the best made, it's the best researched, and it ends great. I won't spoil it for you, but, let's just say the imitator is never as good as the originator. I have a thing on here. This is actually the script from 8/15. Not the script. This is the rundown from 8/15/2015. Because that's when I thought I was going to be able to record this episode, but I wasn't. So anyway, so I've got some stuff in here that isn't exactly relevant anymore, that I might not be able to remember all that well, but I'm still going to cover it because it's material and it's in the rundown, and I don't want to... well, I think it's worth talking about,
I hate having to hold this in my left hand, but the microphone in my left hand, but it's like if I hold it, if I put it on the desk, it picks up every little sound I make. And if I hold it in my right hand, I can't hold the mouse. So, anyways, it's time to, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! A little while ago, I got some, I walked into the Goodwill and I found some, Yu-Gi-Oh! DVDs for real cheap, and I bought them up. And then, you know, this is a whole nother story in and of itself, but I tried to, a while ago, I tried to, get onto the, Konami, press list, you know, so that I could get, press assets, and, you know, maybe review copies, and definitely press releases, and things like that. But, I couldn't get in the front door because of the way their thing is set up. But then, I think sometime this month, I think, you know, maybe I want to, you know, if I can, I want to try and get a review copy of Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, considering this is 8/29/2015, and they still haven't asked me for my shipping address, I'm going to go ahead and say that they probably aren't going to send me a copy. But, I did get a copy of another game, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, Legacy of the Duelist, for Xbox One. I actually had the choice of whether or not I'd get it for Xbox One or PS4, but I figure, because I've got an Xbox Live Gold account, and I keep getting a bunch of Xbox One games every month, and I figure I got more invested in the Xbox One as far as that goes. I got way more games for it, and it's just, you know, all the negative press Microsoft got for the Xbox One, and all the positive press that Sony got for the PS4. The thing is that the launch of the PS4 kind of squandered all of their goodwill that they built up with me. So I just figured, you know what, doesn't matter. I'm probably going to buy the console used anyway, so... hang on. So I might as well get an Xbox One at this point, because I don't really care about the PS4 all that much. I mean, it's got like The Last of Us remastered and Bloodborne, and that's, I think, and Uncharted 4. I haven't actually played that, but it's got like a handful of exclusives that I want to play, but I've got more games for it, and it's like, I live in Xbox territory, so it's more likely that I'd be able to, you know, play online, playing with friends with an Xbox One and whatnot. And, like I said, I've also got the Games with Gold thing. Plus, the controller for the Xbox One feels a lot better than the one for the PS4. The PS4 one feels fine, but it seems kind of flimsy. And I've heard that there's a lot of issues with them breaking. Not like the Xbox One controller, which is literally made to be thrown against concrete. It's like Nintendo when they were making the 3DS. If it can't survive, I'll have a 6-foot drop, send it back to the drawing board. So I've been looking around trying to get an Xbox One so that I can review this Yu-Gi-Oh game, but I didn't actually ask for it. I just Googled up the PR company for Konami, and then I found a handful of names, and the rep just sent me a code for it because he asked if I was interested, and I guess he might have seen the article I'd written on Nightmare Troubadour. I'm just gonna say this though: the fact that Legacy of the Duelist isn't available on PC, first off, that's dumb, because it's a card game, and second, the fact that it's not available on current generation systems, that's even worse. I mean, you're publishing Metal Gear Solid 5 on 7th generation and current generation systems, as well as the next generation systems. Why aren't you publishing the Yu-Gi-Oh game then? Because it's a card game. It doesn't take all that much graphically to make a card game. And all of the graphics are 2D anyways. They use illustrations of the characters. So there's nothing really there's no real reason for it to be on next-gen systems. It was even worse, and there was no reason for it to be on for it to be console exclusive. I bet you if it was available on the PC, though, it would have ridiculous system requirements. Unfortunately, I haven't played it, so I don't know if it's any good or not. Like I said, I don't have an Xbox One, and I don't exactly have the cash to get one at the moment. Gonna scratch an itch here. Anyways, I've heard that there's apparently a new Yu-Gi-Oh movie coming out this year, and it's like the entire series is coming out on Blu-ray in December or something. That's nice. I've got some of the series. I don't have the entire series on DVD yet. I've just got I've got part of season 2, most of season 1, and all of season 3 in the movie. It's not a whole lot, but I've got I've got both the deluxe pieces of the deluxe set and pieces of the basic set. Like the deluxe set was the thing where they had the entire series as a DVD box set. I don't have the uncut version, but I like the original version fine. I don't think the uncut version could add a whole lot, other than changing the iconic character names. I mean, it's at this point where everybody knows that his name is Joey Wheeler, or Tristan Taylor, Taya Gardner. More people know them as those names than they do as Anzu Miyazaki, Hiroto Honda, and Janochi. I can't remember what Joey's last name in Japan is, but the weird part is that they actually call him Joey in the manga, which is weird. Anyways, let's look at what else we got on the thing here. Serpent 21's been having some issues with his podcast lately. I think it was it wasn't the last episode, but it was very recently. One of the most recent episodes. It was the last episode as far as when I'd written this up, but it's one of the more recent episodes. He was getting a lot of negative feedback on it. Hang on, I'm gonna go to his channel real quick and find that out. Figure out which one that was. I think it was the one after it was like the episode before last.
It wasn't the 816 one. I think it was the 89 one. Yeah, it was the 89 one because it's got like 23 thumbs down. What the hell? There's an ad playing. I don't have ad block on Firefox, so because I don't actually watch videos on it. But you know, most of the audience was saying, you know, this isn't that great an episode. This is a terrible episode, you know? Well, and, you know, you got... you got Mitch Connor saying the show was lame, and Krusty, he is agreeing with him. And Mustachioed Green Dinosaur says that it wasn't... that it was good, but not great, and, Nikki Gaither was the one who had the most... she was the most... she was the legit commenter that had the most negative criticism for it. And she said, you know, he missed a lot of questions. He didn't miss all that many questions. And it was shorter, and then doing stuff, and it, you know, I like a 4-hour episode of the Soothing Sounds as much as anybody else does. But, you know, I replied to Nikki. This is after NecroVMX replied saying, you know, that's a free show. But I replied essentially saying, you know, well, before I'd started listening to the show, well, I said, you know, I've listened to the entire back catalog of shows, and, you know, the show in its prime was, like, before the trolls really started showing up all that big thing, but the older shows were good, too. And the same is true now. Oh, it's like the last handful of shows were not as good as the best episodes, but they're still pretty damn good. And I went on to say, you know, well, questions from like Chucky Wood and people like that, and I wondered why he kept asking about that, and then I said that, then I went back and listened to the show later on, and I said, yeah, he missed a few questions, but it was still really good. But it's like, and Elika Noai, I pretty much agrees with me on that, that the show was good. And then in the next episode of the Soothing Sounds, that's number 21, because, you know, he was telling me, we were talking together on Skype, and he was talking about canceling the show, and stop playing. And like I said, he was talking about canceling the show because of all the negative feedback. Because I asked him if he'd use this technique that I use to make these videos process faster and be smaller. Because let's just look at this. It was like a 36-minute episode of unofficial commentary. This last episode was like 94 megabytes. And the reason why it is because I use a really low bit rate because it's a still image, and I also have it at 1 frame per second. And I'll run you guys through the whole production process here. But you know, I was talking to Servant21 on Skype, and you know, he seemed really down and out about this. And he was talking about canceling the show and not doing it anymore. Because, you know, I get that. And if something's not fun, you don't do it. That's why I stopped playing some of the games on the channel. But I also
well, I also, I told him that a bad episode of The Command is better than a lot of stuff. And a bad episode of The Command is... I'm confusing my podcast with his for some reason. And a bad episode of the soothing sounds of listening to me talk... Jesus Christ. A bad episode of soothing sounds is better than a good episode of some shows. And when the soothing sounds is really good, it is awesome. But when it's not, it's still good. And it's still nice to listen to. And I don't always listen to the whole episode of the soothing sounds, because, he'll start talking about something with spoilers in it, of something that I don't want to be spoiled on. But I usually listen to all of them. And I've listened to the back catalog like at least once. And I'm thinking about going back and listening to it again, and just to have something to listen to while I'm writing some things. And when I was listening to this last episode of the soothing sounds, the 816 one, I was glad that, he said... Now, I was glad to have had some kind of positive impact on him. And it's nice to know that I can do that. And I was happy when I listened to that, and that I was able to help him out a little bit. But yeah, if you like some of my subscribers that didn't come from Serpent21 or NecroVMX, go listen to the soothing sounds of listening to me talk. Because it's a really good series. He talks about wrestling, he talks about video games. I'd say it's probably one of the best podcasts on the web. Certainly one of my favorites. But, we got, some issues to cover here later on. But first off, let's go ahead and talk about that movie I was going to be pre-ordering on iTunes. It's called Blood Punch. It's a really weird name for a movie, yeah. But it's a New Zealand movie. It was made by... It was made by... I can't remember who directed it, but it's got 3 of the main actors from Power Rangers RPM in it. Milo Cawthorn... Excuse me. Olivia Tennant and Ari Boland, or whatever his name is. Guy who played Flynn. And, I really like them. I think they're good actors. They released a video on YouTube, and I was directed there by Razzle Dazzle, I think. And I watched some clip. I watched like the trailer and the thing, and I was like, I'll go ahead and I'll pre-order their movie on iTunes, because it looks like a good movie, and if it helps them out, well, it helps a small movie break into the charts and be noticed. It's not like I'm going to be paying real money for it, because I'm a member of some rewards programs, and I was going to get some iTunes credit off of there. But, you know, I download the new client for iTunes because I uninstalled iTunes a long time ago. I wait 10 minutes for it to download. I spend like another 20 or 30 minutes installing it. And then I start it up. And then I wait like an hour. Nothing. Wouldn't access the store. I typed in Blood Punch into the search bar. It was stuck. I try opening Blood Punch up in the iTunes website and then opening up... Because that's the weird thing. You have to use the client. You can't just purchase something from the website and have it be added to your account. And I was like, I was trying to create a new iTunes account for myself, but it wouldn't let me do that either. And, you know, I don't even know what the problem is, because nothing else is that slow. I mean, I'm tempted to leave my computer on overnight and wait for it to load, but, you know, I don't know if it's worth it or not. Because, you know, the $15 could be going towards Metal Gear Solid 5 or an Xbox One, you know. I don't know why I didn't think about contacting them and asking him for a copy of the movie for review, but I figured, you know, these guys are good actors. The movie looks good. It's been rated extremely well. It's won all kinds of awards. But, you know, it just premiered at a film festival, and then is being released on video on demand now. And, you know, and they were offering, you know, if you pre-ordered the movie, you'd get some Power Rangers RPM stuff. And I thought that'd be nice, you know. But iTunes doesn't load up for me. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna try and figure it out, but yeah, that's just kind of discouraging that the entire store won't even load. But speaking of Power Rangers, I was looking at Razzle Dazzle's. He just calls himself Raz now. Well, I was looking at Razzle Dazzle's Twitter feed. I actually wasn't looking at it, I was just scrolling through my Twitter feed. And I saw... And he was ranting... I saw him ranting about how the Power Rangers were like the Digidestined, and I was like, what? Because I've never watched Digimon, but I've got sort of a general idea of it. And I scrolled down, and then I saw that there were some shots from the script, leaked shots from the upcoming movie script. Because if you guys don't know, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is getting rebooted. It's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be the original 6 Rangers. Jason, Trini, Zach, Kimberly, Billy, Tommy. I don't even know if Tommy's going to be in it. He'd better be in it. Because if he's not... oh my god. But, yeah. I looked at it, and then I've got screenshots here I'm going to be putting up right about now. I should have those up on screen at the, yeah, right now, at the 40-second mark. 59:40, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be putting those screenshots in at the 40-second future self. And we've got this right here.
And I'm just gonna read this out, and I'm gonna try and put on my best Power Rangers impressions, best impressions of each member of the cast. Forgive me if my Kimberly doesn't sound anything like Amy Jo Johnson, but if you'll excuse me, I'm a tenor. So, after everything we've been through, how are we not going to be the best friends? And now it's Srini's turn to cry. I've never been one of you. Srini breaks, pulls Kimberly into a fierce saga, and as they hold on to one another, their armor starts to form. Real armor they saw in their vision, deep pink, radiant yellow, as it emerges from within. Pull back to see these two girls become Power Rangers, finally. Now let's move on to the next one. And for once, Zach's dropping the bullshit, getting real. Because of who I am, where I come from, I'm scared the world doesn't have a place for me. Because it takes one look at me and says, you're not like us. You're not good enough. Try living with that. As Jack reveals his inner weaknesses, we see what the boys are too busy arguing to see. Zach's armor starts to form. Okay, the boys. Okay, that makes sense because maybe Tommy's gonna be in there. What the boys are too busy arguing to see. Zach's armor starts to form around him. Sleek, black. And now we come into some really ridiculous crap here, people. Jason, try being the kid nobody looks at. Try being afraid to do anything. Because what if nobody even notices? At least deep down you know you are good enough. Try being afraid that deep down you're not. Jason's Converse becomes boots. His jeans turning into battle armor. Deep red. Yes, that is how it's written in the script, as you can see on here. Jason Lee Scott is not the type of person to go unnoticed. I'm just gonna point that out there. Jason Lee Scott was a karate master at the age of 16. He was teaching karate professionally. He's a freaking prodigy. And then and talk about Zach. Talk about that being out of place, man. I mean, these guys were the best of friends by the time they became Power Rangers. You know, none of them were unpopular. I mean, let's just back up a bit here. I mean, this is like they're trying to make them strangers who are warforged in battle into the best of friends. No, they were already friends. Rangers forever, we're friends together. No, Rangers together, friends forever. That's what their dynamic was. Tommy was the outsider. Tommy was the new kid on the block. He was the one who, he moved to Angel Grove, and he was awesome. And then he was evil, and then he became the best Ranger ever. I noticed that they don't have him anywhere in there. Although if they're not gonna, if they're gonna do anything, the Green with Evil arc needs to be its own movie. It's just... It's like, they're not insecure. I mean, the only ones that were really insecure were Trini and Billy, and it's like Trini's insecurities, oh, she's afraid of heights, and Billy, he doesn't know how to fight. His big thing is his brain,
He doesn't know how to fight. Or at least he didn't in the beginning. I mean, it's alright to try and make a story like this, just don't do it with characters we all know and love. Rangers are under the power of friendship, my god. Power was in you all along. You know, that would make for an interesting story arc. But don't do it with Mighty Morphin. Do it with something, and do it with Tokuger. Adapt Tokuger, for crying out loud. Now, that was based on the power of friendship. Make it like a Mighty Morphin Train Rangers or whatever. And do that, and change the character's name. If this, because this looks real, this script looks real, and it doesn't, if this is legit, I mean, I'm not saying it's gonna be a bad movie, I'm just saying, and my god, way to completely ignore the source material. Eh. I mean, that's just weird. I mean, you know, I'm raging about this a little bit. I say raging, I'm more like passively observing and being mildly irritated by. It's like, you know, oh, I like Michael Bay's Transformers. I like 2 of them. I think 2 and 3 are terrible. I think 1 and 2 are great though. I think 1 and 4 are great though. And it's like, you know, this is something that I know very well. And I don't know what's up here. So, well, we've talked about the weirdness that's going on with the Power Rangers movie. Let's go ahead and talk about, let's talk about one more thing before we get to the final little bit here. There's a couple of weeks ago, as you guys should know, I run Dungeons & Dragons sessions. I haven't been uploading any videos of it lately because I've got to do some editing to one of them. But,
power was restored within 48 to 72 hours. It was 10 days.
A couple of weeks ago, I ran a really good session of D&D that I want to talk about.
I don't know. Obama wasn't born. That's right. I don't know how many helms were actually destroyed. But,
so, playing this module, Princess of the Apocalypse. By the way, this wasn't caught on video. For reasons that'll be seen once episode 30 is uploaded in its entirety. Episode 30 of my D&D sessions. Playing this module, Princess of the Apocalypse. And, you know, there's not a whole lot that we're going to be doing, so I figure, let's go ahead and spice it up a bit. And give them something to think about. Give them something to do, you know? Because I'm getting bored with, you know, the whole thing is like, okay, what they did was they arrived in this town, Red Larch, and, you know, they went around town doing odd jobs, and then they came back, and an earthquake happened, and they found this underground temple, and they killed everything in it. And they were contacted by their guilds later on, and they were told that a delegation of members from all of these different guilds has disappeared. Go find them. And so they tracked them down to this one place, and then they were attacked by this one place in the desert, and they found some knights that were riding giant eagles that attacked them. And then they went ahead and found this tower where the guys came from. These guys are the Feathergale Knights, by the way. And anyways, they go ahead and they talk to them and they do some hunting with them, and then they meet up with some bird people and they kill the knights after the bird people tells them about all the people that they've those guys have killed and whatnot, and you guys are in danger. And so they weave this story of the bird people are the ones who attacked them, and they come back, and then they killed all but one of the guys. One of the guys was unconscious because I was rolling his checks back behind the screen, and it was like they had 6 guards, and 5 out of the 6 failed their death saving throws, but one of them didn't, and he managed to get away and get back to the tower before they did. And so they fought. They had this whole plan. They're gonna bring in the bird people, and they're gonna blow up. They're gonna help them out, but they were gonna blow up the tower, but they decided against that. But the bird people don't show up, so the party has to take on the entire tower on their own. And then they go out. And they find that most of the bird people have been killed by manticores, and 6 manticores attacked them. And they got like 5 bird people left that were supposed to help them. And then they go down the river, and they go to follow this map they found to a place, to this fortress, and they run into the guys that are there. They bluff their way in. They have a meal. They act like they're gonna be working for them. Like they're mercenaries. Well, they are mercenaries, but they this is like the whole thing compressed a little bit. And they run around in the night, setting traps and whatnot. And then they go ahead and kill a bunch of the guys, and then they kill a bunch of... This is like taking place between night and morning. And they, then they kill the big boss and all the people in there. Not easily. It's like they've gone around the entire place looting it. And the big boss is a werebear. And he transforms into a werebear. And my dad uses Mage Hand to drop a potion. It's like a shrinking potion. Force a shrinking potion down his throat. Vial and all. So he's taking damage from the glass inside himself. And then they go ahead and find this, after they kill everybody there, they find this, and send some of the guys back think that have surrendered back to the tower to run the farms and whatnot. Whatever, like this is, you know, they're recruiting, so to speak, and they find this boat and an underground passage, and they sail through this underground passage, and they're sailing from that place to like this temple of all the elements and stuff, like all the different elemental cults are there. They've got their own, each got their own little wings of the temple. But on their way, they they run into some lizard men, and they're trying to saw the boat in half. They run into some bullywoggers who try and attack them, and all kinds of little sea creatures and stuff, whatever I could find in the monster manual. I was like, I'm looking through the monster manual, and I see this one thing, this one creature, like the Bullywug Archmage. And I think, now this guy's got some interesting powers. So what I do is I have, they all, like the Bullywugs stay underwater, but the Archmage has a control water power. So he is raising up the water level to 100 feet, but from the perspective of the party, the ceiling is coming down at them.
So you ready to take us out now? Oh, I forgot to look it up.
And then the Bullywugs make their appearance in a much more organized formation than their brethren earlier on did. Because the Bullywug Archmage is like off pretty far.
So it'll be coming up in a little bit?
The Bullywug clamps.
So it'll be coming up in a little while?
I think they're called. I can't remember what they are. But they've got these clamp spears on them that they use. And regular Bullywugs just swarm the boat. And, they're fighting hard. Because the Bullywugs can grapple them. Grapple and restrain them. And they're fighting hard. The party's fighting hard. They almost died more than once there. But,
Close 3 minutes ago.
Oh.
Right.
Right.
They manage to scrape by.
It's 5:24 now.
And take out most of the Bullywugs, except for a handful. My hand's itchy right now. Anyways, so they go ahead and do their fighting, and then you guys, one of the players, Don, character's name is Don, played by Bubba. He has a spell called Tensor Slowing Disc, and he forms it underneath the mage.
Yeah.
He forms it in the water underneath the mage.
So this one says, where are you?
Water counts as an atmosphere. It's not technically occupied. And he forms Tensor Floating Disc underneath the mage and commands the disc to smash him up into the ceiling. And that breaks the mage's concentration, and they start falling. And we run through the books, and I estimate that they've got, 2 rounds before they go splat.
and take 10d6 falling damage. And they would be extremely lucky if they didn't take at least enough to kill all of them, if they did that. But they're working and they're figuring, and they're trying to figure out how to, because they're in free fall essentially, and they're trying to figure out how to not die. And it's like the bullywugs have just kind of glommed onto the side of the boat now, because there's nothing else to do. And John's character's son has just grabbed onto the boat, and he's holding on for dear life. And James' character, for Lynn, is on another tensor floating disc, and he's just grabbed onto that. He's flat on his stomach, and he's holding on to that for dear life. So really, if they don't manage to figure out how to salvage this situation, James is the only one who's gonna survive, and he's out of healing spells. Because this is a 100-foot drop. So right before they do anything, is like the mage, and the archmage is like almost comes to and is almost trying to get control of the situation, and then he just causes it to pause for a little bit, and for like droplets of water to shoot up in the air, and then it starts falling, and he's out cold again. And so what they figure out is my dad has a spell called Featherfall. So he casts that on the entire party, and they grab onto the boat. And the water, and the bullywugs, and everything just shoots out from under them. And then they fall the rest of their feet, and there's like a big crater where all the water fell down, because it's 100 foot by 100 foot. This is a 100-foot cube. And then, but that was awesome. That was crazy. I really liked that, and I didn't plan that. That was just something that I came up with on the fly. Well, now that we've now that we've talked about that, I want to go ahead and talk about one of the things that happened on the it wasn't like the week before last. It was the week before the week before last. There was a troll on the site. There was a troll in the comments, and I didn't notice it. Serpent21 pointed it out to me, and I was looking at that, and it's like, he tells me, I think you got an imposter on here. Because I was thinking, it's weird that nobody's been trying to make a copycat account of me until now. And I was thinking, and I was like, and I was looking around there, and on my main account, and I was looking at all the comments, and I couldn't find it. So what I did was I went onto this account right here, Bright Steel Stars. Back then it was still called Camcorder Playthroughs. Yeah, this was the yeah, it was the 8/1/15 episode of Soothing Sounds that this was on. I've also got another thing that I want to talk about, real quick.
Alright.
After we get done here, I'm just scrolling through the comments on here trying to find my... There we go. Anyways. To look at the comments, you'd think they would have been made by me. Because, you know, especially one of them. But I'm going to throw this up. Let's see right here. We're at 126.45. I'm going to throw this up at like the 126.50 right here. I'm going to throw this up right here. And just write this down in my notebook real quick. Anyways, as you can see, you know, it makes sense. This comment looks like it's been made by me, because it's something that I have said before. And for those of you who aren't going to look at the video, I'm going to read this out here. Are you looking forward to Fallout 4? I decided to let's play through the first five Fallout games that I have and to get caught up in time for release. Now, you'd think that comment would have been made by me. It wasn't. It was made by the imposter. You know how I know? Well, first off, I didn't post that on there. Second, I moused over, you know, it's got my avatar, me and my paintball gear looking off to the side, and it's got my name. But I moused over that, and I saw that he doesn't have the same channel background that I do, and I'll go ahead and I'll throw that up here real quick. But I'm trying to sort through these images here that I have. Okay, here, yeah. Okay. If you looked at his account's been deleted now, by the way. I reported it for impersonation. He's got like this basic background here. It's got my picture on it, but it's got like this basic black background of squares and stuff. He's got 0 subscribers, and he joined August 8th, 2015, which was, yeah, it was like right it was like literally a week after the episode went up that he joined. And it was, these screenshots were all taken on that day. And you know, you look on his About page, he's got 0 subscribers. He joined August 8th, 2015. And now let's look at my real channel's About page. As you can see, I've got 26 subscribers. I've got a much more colorful background. It's like blue and purple with some lights and circles and stuff on it. My description reads, the original actually on all of these are fakes. That's because and as you can see, his URL is like a jumble of letters and numbers. Mine is the first real Axleon. And the reason that was is because some Brazilian kid had stolen my username, because I used to go by Axleon on a lot on like MMOs and things like that, and I used to play Adventure Quest Worlds quite a bit, and that was my username on there. And I checked the dates, because back when I signed up for YouTube back in 2011, I was trying to sign up as Axleon. This is before I created the Glandon name. But yeah, Axleon. And I checked, and there were two people who had signed up as Axleon before me. One was the first Axleon, and the other was actually it was three. First Axleon, the real Axleon, and Axleon. And I checked all their sign-up dates were after I'd created my first account with the Axleon name on it in an MMO. So, yeah. And for some reason, I always tend to run into a lot of Brazilian players, so I think somebody might have just liked my name and used that, but that's off topic. You look at my About page, I've got 26 subscribers, 10,030 views. I joined October 4th, 2011. I think I might have actually joined a lot earlier than that. Yeah, because I didn't... When did I turn 13? I turned 13 in 2010, so I think I would have signed up about then. And, I don't know, I've got the time frame a little messed up in my head, because I think I can't remember when Google Plus became a thing, so. But yeah, now let's go to this fake channel's About, not About page, his channels page. As you can see, he didn't feature any other channels. Let's go to mine. I've got subscriptions. I've got Stone Gremlin and Productions, Camcorder Playthroughs, which is now changed to Bright Steel Stars. Sideshow Collectibles, 60 Symbols, Gross Science, Black Veil Brides channel, Garage Pro TV, Objectivity, X Raslin, Green Man Gaming, Channel Awesome, Reactions, Tom Scott, John Wayne Parr, Rygos. I got a bunch of stuff right here. And this is just on the main page. If you scroll down on a little bit, you'll see more. And let's move on. Fake Channels discussion page. Nothing. Real Channels discussion. Where's my Real Channels discussion page? Did I take a screenshot of that? Real Channel. Okay. Well, anyways, he doesn't have anything on there. I've got some people telling me that I suck, and one person telling me that he really likes my videos on there. I'll probably take a screenshot of that right now. And then when you look at let's check out his playlists, shall we? And as you can see, he doesn't have any playlists. When you look at the Real Channel, I've got my favorites here. Here I had like 4, 5, 6. I had about 6 playlists here. It's gone up to 7 now. He didn't have any. And then close those out. Let's look at his videos. He doesn't have any videos. Let's go over to my channel. I've got 9 videos.
Most of them are remixes. One's a straight upload, and then one of them is like a voice reel, as you can see. You can just look at that right there. Because I'm going to put it up there. So yeah, his disguise was nothing more than paper thin, first off. Because, you know, if you want to try and impersonate me, you could do a better job than just mousing over so that it would stand up a little better than just mousing over for your avatar.
Don't tell him how to do it.
But let's go ahead and get to the main event, shall we? Now I'm going to read this out, but I'm also putting it up on screen. This is from the fake Alex Shannon, which I'm pretty sure was that 12-year-old kid Madness. I'm assuming he's 12 years old, because that's what he looks like and that's how he acts. John, I want to tell you that I'm super thrilled you're doing this show again. If it wasn't for podcasts like yours, NecroVMax, and LordCat, I wouldn't have gotten so much work done. I have a very personal subject to discuss with you, and I don't know where to begin. Over the last couple of years, adult men and women that love My Little Pony cartoons have been chastised and ridiculed by many people. I'm one of those individuals that watches the cartoon and collects the ponies themselves. It all began when I was 5 and started watching the cartoon with my older sister. I loved the themes and it was very entertaining. The characters are amazing and the writing on the new cartoon series is very good. Indeed, I am not ashamed to admit that I'm a Brawny. No, not Brony, Brawny. That was me commenting on this stupid little misspelling here. Back to quote. I love My Little Ponies and I refuse to keep living in the shadows just because other people will think there is something wrong with men liking a cartoon made for little girls. I'm particularly fond of Rainbow Dash, Twilight Sparkle, Pinkie Pie, and Fluttershy. They are my favorites. You don't view me differently because I've shared this with you, John. I hope we can remove labels and just be proud of who we are. I am Alex Shannon, and I love My Little Pony. And then he adds this little star thing down here and says, hope. Now, I don't know exactly what this guy was thinking of when he was posting this, but I've got a pretty good idea. I think, you know, he sees me in my camouflage gear looking all serious, and he thinks that I'm probably some sort of uptight, insecure, manly man who thinks that, you know, if you like girly things that makes you less of a man. And, well, first off, that couldn't be further from the truth, but let's analyze what all he got wrong in this little comment, shall we? So, the original series of My Little Pony premiered in 1986, September 15th. Now, you guys might know this, you might not. I'm 18 years old. That was before I was born. Then there's the series My Little Pony Tales, which ran for 26 episodes between August 2nd and December 25th, 1992. Also before I was born. I also didn't have cable, so I never saw it in syndication. Next up, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, premiered October 10th, 2010. I was 13 years old when that happened. I was not 5 when that premiered. I have never watched a single episode of any of the My Little Pony series. Hang on, I'm gonna take this off, because I don't think it's helping much. Anyways. Literally the only experience I have with the My Little Pony franchise is a fan-made series
on YouTube called Turnabout Storm. A crossover between My Little Pony Friendship's Magic and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I think it's very good. It's very well acted. It's very well scripted. Kind of weird, but I can deal with that. Closing out this page here. I haven't watched all of it. I haven't actually had time to watch all of it, but I think it's pretty good. Now, let's go back and analyze the rest of this, shall we? He quoted me outright when I said, well, he was paraphrasing me when I said, when he said, rather, that I get a lot of work done due to the Soothing Sounds and Necrovine and Mex's podcast and stuff like that, but I don't listen to Lord Cat's podcast. So, also, I do have a blog. I write reviews every week. I get like 500 views for every article that I write. And this guy did not copy my writing style at all. I mean, he's got tons of samples that he could have used to try and imitate me better, but, I make the occasional spelling error. I'm only human, but the grammar is so off. He's not using the proper punctuation. It is so obviously the Madness guy doing this here. Because it writes like him, It reads like one of Madness's comments. And also, I don't have an older sister. I'm an only child. I've mentioned this several times. You could have gone onto my YouTube channel and looked for details. It's not that hard to find. I mean, all in all, I give this impersonation a 1 out of 5. A 0.1. 1 out of 10.01. You had stuff there that you could have used, and you didn't bother using it. Now, I don't know why Madness would do this, but I have a pretty good idea. You see, like I said before, he sees me, my profile picture is this, it's a serious-looking, I'm a serious-looking dude. I've got on camouflage, and I play paintball. And he thinks from that, well, this guy's probably got some kind of ego about him, and he's going to be all pissed off when I do this, But I figure that he's probably the My Little Pony fan, the closeted My Little Pony fan. I think that, he's got all... I think he's trying to take from his own insecurities and try and figure out if they're anything like mine. And he's like, I really don't have insecurities. I mean, man, if you're trying to embarrass me when you did this, you failed. I don't care. You can like My Little Pony. I don't watch it, but I've got friends who do, and I don't care. Like I said, I like Turnabout Storm. Listen, buddy, if you're trying to embarrass me by saying, oh, you know, he likes girly things and girly things are bad because girls have cooties. You know, one of my favorite songs is 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. You can't embarrass me by saying I like My Little Pony. I'm sorry about that. I was using the wrong microphone throughout this entire thing. I don't even know why I've got this... I've got a Guitar Hero microphone that I've been using for lots of things recently, but I do still use the headset microphone. And I just realized that I've been recording the entirety of the command with a really crap microphone. And the only reason it's picked up my voice is because I have the gain turned all the way up. So I had to turn the gain down when I turned this microphone on. But anyways, yeah, that's not going to be a source of embarrassment for me. Embarrassment is not something that I feel. I am not the kind of person who you can really do that to. I mean, look at this. Look at my shelf here. Look at that. That's a Twilight Sparkle figurine right next to the Shadow Hulk. My Shadowrun mini, a Drow mini back there. There's it looks like a druid on there. Warhammer figurine, a troll, my D&D character back there, some sort of dog creature. And it's right next to Resident Evil 4, which happens to be right next to some Nancy Drew point-and-click adventure games. 3 of them. One's right there. Plus, I also have a book called Chicks Kick Butt right here. And I think that's it. So anyways, you can see that I'm not exactly the kind of person that would get embarrassed by something like that. And honestly, I don't see why you'd think anybody would be embarrassed by that, unless you're embarrassed by that. But you know, you got something right about me. I am a manly man. I'm 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, strong as an ox, and I also don't back down. So keep this in mind, just in case you decide to keep bugging me. I will never surrender. Well, anyways, I had a surprise for you guys, but that's gonna have to wait until next week, and incidentally, it's also why I haven't put out more than 2 episodes this month. And it's also why this episode probably isn't going to get out till Monday, because I started recording this on Saturday, and I finished recording it on Sunday. But now that I've gone ahead and gotten all the way to the end, I might as well go ahead and issue the command for this week. I didn't get one out last week, but I put it in the comments, so I guess that counts. If you guys listen to WWE theme songs, and some songs in general, actually, you notice that they're a lot shorter than they used to be. Because you compare Dolph Ziggler's theme to Hulk Hogan's theme song. Dolph's is 2 minutes long, and the second minute is a repeat of the first. Hulk Hogan's theme song is entirely original, however. And then, you know, it's like that for some. Because John Cena has a full-length theme song. It's crap, but it's full-length. And I think Triple H's theme song is full-length, but I'm not sure. I think that might just be because it's a licensed song, though. But, anyways, you look at, you compare the SmackDown theme song, Black and Blue, to the Raw theme song. Oh, right, it's called The Night. Tonight is the Night. Tonight is the Night is full length, and Black and Blue is not. It's just like a verse, chorus, repeat the verse, and the chorus unchanged. And I just wanted to know, do you guys know why that is? Or do you guys notice that other places? Because I've noticed it in like a handful of places. Not everywhere, but it's a little too prevalent for my liking. Now that we've gone ahead and issued the command, I will see you guys next week with my podcast, and hopefully I'll be able to reveal what the surprise is going to be. Here's a hint. I've mentioned it before, and it's something that I really like. So stay tuned.